It's Rich Keen. I'm here to just give you a brief overview of my final project for our capstone class. So today I'll be talking to you about why the Air Force changed its promotion system. Here's a brief overview. So the previous E5 to E9 promotion process we'll be talking about in length. We're going to identify the problems with the previous promotion system, what the Air Force's solution to that system was, and the new process for those airmen promoting to E5 through E9, and what the new promotion process fixed. So as you can see in the previous E5 to E7 weighted airman promotion system model, actual job performance only equated to about 29% of the determining factor for who was promoted. It really ended up boiling down to a test, a job knowledge test, and an Air Force knowledge test, or time in rank. And those are not usually the best indicators for who is most ready for promotion. This is the previous model for those competing to Senior Master Sergeant and Chief Master Sergeant, the two highest enlisted ranks. And as you see that the board score is a big determining factor in promotion, where it takes up 49% of the available points. That board score is determined by looking at your record of your EPRs, which are performance appraisals, that Air Force knowledge test, job knowledge test, time and grade, time and service, and decorations. So the board scoring for E8 to E9, it's on a 6 to 10 scale, with 6 being the lowest. And each board member, there's 3 board members, they need to be within 1 point of each other, or they need to rescore the package. Those scores are calculated up and multiplied by 15, and that is how you get the score to the right. So demystifying the board a little bit. So the board is comprised of 2 chief master sergeants and 1 colonel. As I already previously mentioned, they grade the package on a 6 to 10 point scale, in half point increments, multiply that score by 15, and they come up with a score. The biggest thing that they're looking at is a whole person concept, which plays a significant role. So it's job performance, leadership ability, obviously, but also base community involvement and developing folks. So some of the promotion problems created by the old weighted airman promotion system model was a mass inflation of the EPR, so the job performance appraisal process. So leniency errors and halo effect by raters were very, very common. So in fact, in 2014, those testing were competing for E7. Nearly 90% of them were rated as a Firewall 5. That's the highest rating. So to kind of break that down a little bit, that means 90% of people got the max points for promotion in the job performance category, which is 135 points. So if 90% of the folks are getting the vast majority of the points, it literally renders that portion for promotion consideration useless to some extent, because now with a level playing field across the board, it does come down to how well a member tests and how long they've been sitting in a seat. Because of this inflation, it made it extremely difficult to identify the top performers, because everybody was rated as the best. And if you were able to actually identify a top performer, you cannot give them an advantage for promotion. So the Air Force's solution to this problem was they developed a force distributed EPR model. So they limited the number of folks that could receive the top promotion recommendations. So you were no longer going to see 90% of the force being rated as truly among the best. So the focus is now on recent performance as well. Um, they look at the last 3 EPRs versus the last 5. Um, they got rid of referral reports for members that are marked meeting some but not all expectations. So that helps when it comes to getting rid of leniency error. And they also removed the time and grade and time and service points. Promotion boards has also been implemented for those competing to E7 and above. It used to only be E8 and above. So here's a brief look at the force distribution process. So as you can see, senior airmen, so an E4 competing to E5, a maximum of 15 of them could be given the must promote recommendation, and that equates to 220 points. And 5% of those eligible can be given a promote now. That changes a little bit once they are E5 competing to E6, where it begins to be a 10% max for must promotes and 5% max for promote nows. So there's a 250 points is available for EPRs now. So that changes the chart and the focus on the scoring. This is the biggest component of what determines who gets promoted now is the actual performance report, which is supposed to be a look at a member's job performance. The scoring table below, you'll see that the first EPR or the most recent EPR has the most, it's the heaviest weighted. And then if there's 2 EPRs, it's going to be a 60% weight for the most current EPR, and the previous EPR would be a 40% rate, and so on. This is how the points would be calculated for those that received different promotion recommendations on their EPR. Just of note, a 5 on this chart is a promote now, and a 4 is a must promote, a 3 is a promote. So this is the new E5 to E6 WAPS scoring model. As you can see, job performance now consists of 53% of the determining factor for who gets promoted. The test is still relevant here, but there is a significant advantage given to those that are given the top promotion recommendations, especially because it's a force distributed model and only so many people can get those top recommendations. For the E7 to E8 WAPS model, it's a 100% promotion board. So what that means is they're going to look at your performance reports and come up with a score based off looking at the promotion, the performance reports, your decorations, and that's really it. Time and grade and time and service are no longer a factor. They're looking at 100% performance on the job. So with the new WAPS model fixed, well, force distribution, simplest terms, it removed inflation. It removed inflation for the enlisted performance report, and it made it easier to identify top performers and give them an advantage. It also eliminated built-in leniency errors and halo effect. By removing the leniency errors or the reason for leniency errors, it should make raters more honest in their assessment. And of note is that the immediate rater is not making the promotion recommendation. The immediate rater is annotating performance and giving blocks, and the commander is going to make the promotion recommendation after reviewing all performance reports. And the WAPS model is also focused promotion on actual job performance. As you can see here in the new model, it's changed. It used to be 29% job performance was a factor, and now it's 53%. Why this is important? So NCOs are the backbone of our force. Getting promotion right is critical. The last thing we need to do, especially when our job is prosecuting warfare, is promoting the wrong individuals. That could be very bad. So honest feedback and ratings by raters allows ratees to actually improve weak performance areas. Whereas before, with the built-in leniency, at times, more often than not, we would go ahead and rate people higher in categories than they actually performed, just because we wanted to help them compete with everybody else because the inflation was so widespread. Now, top performing members are rewarded for their efforts. Before, we could identify top performing members and we could not give them an advantage. So, as an institution or organization, how realistic is it that we keep the top performers if we can't get the top performers recognized and promoted to the higher levels? So that concludes my brief. It was a basic rundown uh, of the old Air Force promotion process, the new Air Force promotion process, the problems in the old one, and how this will remedy those problems. Thanks for your time.